Welcome to the show. We are going to talk about universal twin flame religion. Master Union and Mission with Petra presents that in the series of Twin Flame Magic channeled. And in this series, I always work with oracle cards that I pre-selected for you on the table to tune in to our higher selves in my twin flame union. And we use also a specific card deck with that works with the master magician, and he gives me symbols to work with in that card deck because we are really connected to that kind of mastery of the sort of the symbols of the true spiritual journey and making it come true with those symbols by taking them seriously. So, divine wisdom alive. That's what that is. And yeah, that's really at the core of what we are. And it's also very connected, you could say, in the realm of where in the solar system can you find that frequency, then it is connected to Arcturus also. So that is also invited in the channeling today. And we take this all into account when we talk about twin flame union questions. And today we're going to zoom into, are twin flames a religion, a universal religion? And there are maybe people that are against the word religion because aren't they all stupid and dumb and don't know anything about twin flames too? And well, let's go a little deeper in if that is even true. And well, let me tell you upfront that I'm not necessarily against the word religion at all. It is a more formally organized way of spirituality that had historical examples that were a certain way. And yes, of course, there also have been people that have negative experience with such historic examples of the more organized spiritualities, for sure. And they might need to look into that and do specific inner work on their negative experiences that might have traumatized them so that you can clear that out of negative meanings and just can say again, wow, this is just a more structured way of experiencing spirituality, and it can still have many forms, and it is free of moral judgment in principle. And it is just a set of spiritual symbols. Again, there we go, what we are actually really about, that you can use when you use it in the correct way to do the true spiritual journey. And here is the kicker. Today, we're going to talk about many of such religions and that they actually open up the twin flame lesson, teaching, secrets too. If you start to understand the twin flame secrets in the way that I speak about in all my videos and whatnot, and then go back to one of the symbolic systems of, for instance, the well-known world religions, you can then with new eyes see that they actually were always already about twin flames, but the people just didn't talk about that particular aspect of it because they weren't ready to digest that part of it, because it goes further, it has further consequences than just taking it in as a random person that is the same as their body. So personhood is the body, and instead of the union, and just saying, well, I just try to find inspiration in this religious system, and it makes me have sometimes beautiful feelings in my heart, and that helps me forward, or something like that. And when you would say no, it points actually to the fact that you are part of a twin flame, because that is how reality has created you, and you can't undo that suddenly or whatever. Or even when you say, I don't believe in that, I don't believe that is in my religious system, then you are wrong, and you are also simply denying a fact of how you are created. So you can deny all you want, but that doesn't make it different. You still are a twin flame, no matter how much you are against that. When you take that into account, you might find all kinds of beautiful help in all kinds of organized, structured religions. You start to actually understand that whole religion in a different way, in a more full way, and a more fulfilling way. But it does have, you could certainly say, deeper consequences. And that's maybe why people were not ready yet to see, to hear twin flames in traditional religions until this point in history, approximately where we are now, 2026, and the 10 years surrounding it, etc. The further reaching responsibility of it is that you need to bring yourself back to live with your twin flame fully in harmonious union, the consciousness state, and that is calling you, and that has an influence on all your life aspects, such as your marriage, your home, your family, the way you make money, what you feel your mission in life is. It has influence on everything, but it is a good influence. So that is the flip side of the idea that, wow, but that should have such a consequence, when I accept that that is in my religion and I should actually live being a twin flame. That seems like a whole responsibility, and therefore also like further reaching consequences, which seems problematic. But that is, in another sense, kind of bullshit, because it is the most positive consequence that you can ever imagine. And well, there you go. So yeah, I guess maybe we already sort of talked you through the whole deal of this video. Well, but there you go. We're going to expand on that with the cards. Embodying union wisdom so that you can dance the romance of eternity with the true twin flame with ease is not common as of yet, but it can be drawn from the source of leading edge spiritual truth that is accessible from the core of my union. We vibe with the master magician, and therefore I can channel from our co-creation that is also aligned with the consciousness of Arcturus, because our soul core, Hienitis and Selenitis, resides there. Today on the show, we have Universal Twin Flame Religion. And let me for a moment explain why we have the possibility to become a paid Patreon member on this and all live shows. You can listen to it and enjoy, and that is fine. But if you want the content of these shows to spiritually work healing on your union, you invest in the messages. That's how you support your union healing. Money unlocks it. And if you'd like to invest some in your union besides that too, there's always the strategy session with a link below or in the pinned comment to discuss together how I can help you, because the Patreon and the Facebook group Your Abundance are here for first steps. They're really seriously helping you. But when you're truly ready, you come to your strategy session, and that's where the real deal begins for you. And I guarantee you that will make everything come true for you, as it had been for all my students, because everyone got loads of healing, their twin flame running back to them, but not everyone stayed with me until the finish line. Those that did indeed reached. 4 times this happened. The consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union that everyone needs that wants to be with their twin flame in a true, joyful, and lasting way. And I guarantee that will be you as well, because it has been so incredibly consistent that this came through for everyone that seriously went in with me right here and stayed with it. Let's have a look. Yeah, so I think we're just going to start with the cards, right? And here is the thing. So I would like to start with the Mayan Oracle. I really can communicate with the Master Magician with this deck. But here's the thing. I was pre-shuffling the deck and two already flipped out. And I had a strong feeling that we needed to look at these. So I just saved them here on my desk and let's have a look at them, isn't it? So this is what came out for Universal Twin Flame Religion. Unity with 1 point. There's a series of cards in this deck with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. And they have a meaning. And this is unity. Well, I think that's pretty clear. The original union you are a part of, and everything is a part of. Because there is one union of everything in consciousness. And then when you look at the creation of life, you are the union unit on the personal level in your twin flame union. That is the unit that at which you experience that union, that unity. And that is where you need to go to experience this unity at all. And to live it fully in the flesh. That's where that happens. The other card is Realm Shift. And it also says it in Spanish. So this star in a five armed star, could you say that like that? Yeah. It seems like a sort of a consciousness portal of a star. Okay. I'm going to look at the Realm Shift star, which is also an alternative series of cards that is in this deck. Normally, we use this a lot more, this card deck earlier, and you always saw other kinds of cards. I will see if I actually feel inspired to draw even more cards. Maybe then this other kind of card comes out. But anyway, oh, here it is. No. Oh, yes. 145. It's called a lens through which we're seeing reality. Realm shift. Qualities: quantum leap, expanded reality, walking into the unknown, becoming open awareness, openness to possibilities, flexible assemblage points, accelerated change. Loosen your moorings, journeyer, make room for miracles and expanded realities. In receiving this lens, you are being asked to take a quantum leap beyond the confines of your known reality. You are becoming open awareness, an open system. You and this reality are entering a total shift of realms. Because of humanity's mass agreement about how reality is, you may have constructed your reality based on fixed beliefs, such as things are as restrictions, denial, limitation, and judgment. However, when humanity reaches the critical threshold of change in belief system, reality shifts to reflect that change. Set aside how your reality appears. See the universe as an inseparable whole, one hologram made up of a vast web of interwoven possibilities. You can affect and draw from that energetic field now. You can create the reality you choose. A shift of realms is taking place. At this nexus of time and space, powerful galactic energies are meeting your expanding perception of what is possible. Anything you have defined in a limited way is open to transformation. Perhaps you have seen this expanded version of reality in moments of extreme crisis, strong emotions, plant medicine experience, deep meditation, severe illness, or near death experience. After such moments, all things look different, and the potential of all possibilities emerges. This is because the assemblage points of your reality have been shaken loose. Receiving this lens asks you to consciously loosen your assemblage points and allow them to remain flexible. Take a quantum leap into the fluidity of unfixed beliefs and expanding realities. Be flexible, choosing to move into the unknown. A complete and marvelous reordering of your world awaits you. So, and guess what? We are reordering and expanding our consciousness towards union, which is exactly the topic that we've just been talking about, because of course you are opening up the possibility to get into twin flame union. And that is the shift of reality that you're looking for. And the shift of reality is what I have called all the time for some years now in all my videos the consciousness of harmonious twin flame union that is mandatory for your true twin flame in union, in joy, in a lasting way. There's no other way. Even though you might not hear this in other avenues of people talking about it, because people don't know what they're talking about. Although it is positive that the topic of twin flames gets more attention, what is negative about it is that they fantasize the content. And what we've talked about is how this is also mirrored by the idea of spiritual systems. Religions are also expanding. When you, let's say you go to the consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union, okay? Because I guided you there, you did the inner work, you paid the price, so to speak, just like I did. You maybe start to suddenly see your original religion that you grew up in culturally or whatever in a new way, and you start to suddenly see, oh, it was in there all along. See, Jesus was with his twin flame Mary Magdalene when he started his ministry at 30 years age. Of course he met his twin flame at that point, and then they were doing the mission. Duh. That's what we talk about every day here. Well, at this exact point, I don't make videos every day, but regularly, still, always. That's how it goes. Jesus and Mary were normal human beings, so they were a twin flame. And they came together when they had done the inner work, and then their mission started. What do I talk about all the time? Exactly that. They were just exemplary in a time when that wasn't necessarily available for your everyday people to also do that all the time. And now it is, because we have the Christ Masters on earth right now, with whom I co-create that state of consciousness of harmonious twin flame union. In fact, because I met them and we exchanged an initiation. I worked with them. So yes, twin flames are in Christianity. Duh. Because twin flames are in reality. Twin flames are in Indian spirituality, in Hinduism, in Krishna and his twin flame. And it's just full of the divine masculine and divine feminine coming together. even in mythologies, in, I don't know, the sky meeting the river or whatever it is, the female and the masculine as symbolic forces together forming the symbol of the black and white Eastern symbol of, what is it called? Now I know I can't find the name. Oh my gosh. Everyone knows this symbol. Well, anyways, I think you start to get the picture. So, what you could see for yourself is that it is also the idea that all spiritualities and religions go to the new level and go to the new level so that inside of them, this new power is being recognized and almost can like assert themselves, emancipate themselves out of these religions into a new reality, realm shift. Which might mean that when that happens to a religion, for instance, Christianity, then there might be this change that transforms the visibility of that whole religion so that maybe in the end they fall away. And all religions maybe in the end fall away. And we only have the twin flame truth left, which you might call twin flame religion, if you will, universal twin flame religion. You know, after I met the Christ Masters, for me, it was meaningful to go back to the Christian church with my new understanding. And also because I needed the structure and the guidance and the symbology to process what I had gone through, which was enormous. Harmonious twin flame union, the consciousness state, having met the true present day Christ Masters on earth, what that all gave me, meeting them in real life, but also having perplexing, overwhelming visions about what that meant, and messaging, internal messaging about what the rest of my life would need to be about. And I needed to also have a place to process that was, in a sense, neutral. Now, I was initiated into the spiritual system of the Christian religion in the Catholic way. And I went back there to have, in a certain sense, for me and my culture and my past choices, have a neutral, for me, way to have a place and a time and a structure to process what the heck happened to me. And I saw all the twin flame signs and meanings right there in the Bible, in the churches, in the art, in the mass, in everything. It was exactly about twin flame union. And I allowed myself to see it in it. And I allowed myself to be helped like that because it helped me. Now, when you do that enough, you might find out that these other people are not at all with you, that are maybe like sharing your pews, because you have started to understand the religion in the new alive way that they don't share at all. And you might find out that the difference is big enough for you to stand out in a way that is maybe not even that welcome sometimes. What I did was just have my own experiences anyway and be helped by that anyway. Also, trusting that in the end, I might not fit in that way. And I was not necessarily shutting up about it for a strategy, although I knew that things would end maybe too quickly if I would speak up. In the end, deeper than that, I was being there, being a fellow human being with the other fellow human beings. And that gave me the exact experience of being able to process anything, whatever came up, because I experienced it as being fellow human beings under one roof, all doing our inner work at whatever level. And it's truly helped me. But there came a day that it was, in a sense, enough, and I was sort of found out. And that was relatively recently. It was like 3 months ago. I felt that was the moment when that burst. And you could say that either, Christianity follows me, but they won't. I will help you out of that dream. Or when you look at the other side of that coin, twin flame religion through me stands more on its own feet. And that's where we are now. That's, I think, a good way to see it. So the church has gone into, well, my work. There you go. You're welcome to come study. And if you don't like the word church, that's fine. Then you take the word temple, or you take the word forest because you love nature. That's also fine. They're also sacred trees, and I've always loved them and written much poetry about it in the past. And I think that is the right development. And after all religions can be used for that. And you start to ascend the old religions to come to one universal twin flame religion that can still be traced back to, if you want to, for instance, Christianity or something else. When you are in the consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union, you follow my work and you go back to church and you see, oh yeah, see, this whole story is actually here. It's just that people are not aware, because in the time of Jesus, when this was incited to start, etc., that was not the primary goal to teach that aspect. But now it is. You see, so that's where we're now. And even though it was not the primary goal of Christianity up until now to highlight that aspect of Jesus' story, and now it is still the case that when you look, for instance, again, I think it's just a great example, at the history of Christianity, you see very many, if not all, saints, they do meet, that are known in Christianity. There's like books written about them. They're declared saints by the church that still exists in Rome, even though it also made itself invalid from the inside out, which is another story. It ended itself from within, you could say. You can read books about that too and watch videos about that. That's very interesting as well, because all of this has even much more intricate and almost unbelievable details that are so precise and that completely fit with the Christ Masters on Earth right now, for instance, etc., etc. But that goes too far, I guess, I think, for today's topic, which is in a sense more abstract, you could say, or more wide, how I phrased it. I lost my train of thought just a little bit there. But you can still see that when the saints that were declared by the church itself to be saints, so they're like very advanced in their spirituality, all of them met their twin flame first and then developed further in their mission in monasteries as nuns and whatever they're called, right? You see that in all biographies of the saints. Same thing. So even though that's where we were, even though in Christianity there's not. Okay, thank you. Siri was answering that Saint's question. Thank you, but that was my twin flame wanting to talk back, I think. Anyway, or the Christ Masters wanting to come in, whatever it was. Thanks for the communication. Yeah, it is a this is a true communication. That's I guess what it means. Even though the church was not highlighting that element of the Christian teaching that was generally taught in churches, it still was true for those that went further in actual spiritual development in cloisters and whatnot, and they became saints. They did meet their twin flame, and often, like the twin flame was. So Saint John of the Cross, which is a well-known Christian saint and author, was the twin flame of Teresa of Avila. They lived approximately in the same time, approximately in the same environment, like the same country. And they were both intellectuals and authors and reached high states of spiritual achievement. And they were clearly twin flames. And they were like living in their own monastery alone, quote unquote, both still connected and fully experiencing this mission together. There you go. And that is also not unique. This happened many, many times. And now we don't need to be nuns in cloisters anymore to be with our twin flame. We can just choose to be with the twin flame now and do the rest of the journey together. And that's how you do it. And that is like the premise of the universal twin flame religion that we can inhabit now. And that's like ascended versions of any traditional religion. I think it's very interesting and also very it can be workable if you truly tune into, well, my work and go in the direction of harmonious twin flame union, the consciousness state. It can work for you that you understand, like, I don't need to give up, for instance, my family's religion or what. I will just start to see it very differently, and sometimes even like have benefit from these symbols. That's beautiful, and that's possible. However, we also should, I think, keep in mind that it's actually also a natural thing for there to develop like a central new spirituality that like spreads out over the entire globe, and like that twin flames are just a new thing, and eventually it doesn't matter if you refer that back to traditional religions of your choosing, yes or no, because this is the church and it is the true church, because church is a word that might just very much mean or need to mean your relationship with the divine. And there is no relationship with the divine without your twin flame coming into the picture also in an active way. That's not possible in the end. And yes, a successful twin flame journey, in a sense, brings the end back to the front so that you can be with him now and then do the rest of the journey together. That's the point. That's how you are together with them now, which is what you want, which is what I teach, which is what I bring. So there you go. So that was all that I wanted to say about it, I believe. But let's nevertheless go to some other card decks. So we have the angel answers. So let's have a look. I'm choosing this one. What we did until now. Is this right? No need to worry. Okay, so I think we're going in the right direction. Don't worry if we go in the right direction. That's okay. Let's see if like nature religions such as the ancient Native Americans have something to say about this. Card 20. There's like this bison and the Indian on the horse. So let's have a look what this card means again. And it is Tirawa and the cosmic buffalo fulfillment. Tirawa is the god of heavens, the creator of the world, and the guardian of the cosmic buffalo. Each of buffalo's hooves is part of the cadence of the four eras, moving until it is completely consumed. When the last hoof is consumed, the world will enter a phase of destruction from which will rise again only with buffalo's rebirth. This is the life cycle and reminder that there is a proper time for everything. Periods of lack are followed by times of abundance. Okay, so this is what the twin flame journey is, also in matters of the universal religion of it. That buffalo or the old goes in a phase of destruction of the old, of what you thought you were, of what religions were thought to be, and then arises something new, and that is the universal twin flame religion. And for you in the personal atmosphere, yes, being with your true twin flame eternally after, not only in this lifetime, but eternally after, because your achievements from this lifetime you take into the next, and so on and so forth, which is also why you're now where you're now. All right. And for me, that was also very clear. Did I ever tell these stories? I think I did. And on my video, you see also a live in which I talk about my past life memories about being H.P. Blavatsky. You can find it on my live tab. Maybe in that one, I talk about how my last lifetime went over in this lifetime, quite literally, with traces of that life in my family home, etc. So there you go. Now we're going to look at, and I already got the card out because I shuffled and got it out, the Egyptian ancient religion, in fact, right? So, what do they say about all of this? Ptah. And look at him standing there in front of this picture of the whole galaxy or something very beautiful. Well, the card says creator god. And didn't we just talk about the creator god of the Native Americans? And Ptah is the creator god of ancient African Egyptian descent. Creator God. He dreams creation and manifests through the word. Formulate your dream that you really want to become reality. You get a chance to have a wish fulfilled by speaking about it. Visualization, idea, be silent, and let it come into your inner eye what you need now. But, well, there we are. Twice we had the creator God. The creator wants us to be in a universal twin flame religion now. That is your assignment. You were created by the creator God saying the word, or maybe you could say by doing the act of creating you, which is the same, of creating the unit that you inhabit. And that is just reality. Just accept it for what it is. Just accept who you are, what you are. And give it a chance to formulate that, to dream about that, to make that reality, to speak that in reality, to first dream it out and then live it out and understand that the life on earth is a dream in itself. Yeah, just do it. That's how God created you. What more can I say, Well, let's have a look in. Well, this Mary Magdalene deck has many Christian symbols. So let's have a look what they want to tell us. Okay, let's not take too long. I feel this card. So here it is, the loved one. That's cute. God makes you long for the loved one, and that is God itself. And when you go in that direction, God will give you your twin flame, which is the loved one on the level of creation. Who will it be? Well, just your twin flame. That's it, your twin flame. In that sense, it's funny, but in that sense, my work is not difficult. I just tune you in to the right sense of twin flame inner work, and through my presence, that is anchored. And you just get your twin flame. There's only one of them. They will gravitate towards you no matter what it takes. And that is the truth of the matter. That is why my work works all the time. Because you are attracted to it and to me, and it will work. And I know that for a fact. So we can truly bank on that. Yeah, just accept it. Just accept it. It is good to accept it. It is safe to accept it. God invites you to accept it. And now we're going to look in, well, maybe the spirituality of crystals. What about that? I love it. Oh my gosh, I love it. So these are all kinds of crystal cards. Yeah, let's take this one. And we have Ajowiet, I would say. I think these cards are in Dutch. Crystal 30. I'm going to look in the booklet for you. And, you could make a screenshot of that card, print it out. That's the cheapest way to use, well, this video for healing purposes and to use crystals. You can also buy one, of course. Ajowiet takes care of deep spiritual revelation. From the wounds of karma, this crystal gives everything a new resurrection. I'm just translating this on the fly. Right. Isn't that exactly what we talked about? About how things will develop in twin flame religious sense. From the not understanding of Christianity, something sprouts that is a complete rebirth of it. Which in Christian sense also means that it won't be, it's not placed for the most part in the Christian church where it started in Rome. It has already traveled to a new place, to the Christ Masters on Earth right now. And that is the new, ascended church. The twin flame church, if you will. And then maybe you say, well, but I don't like that. Well, then call it something else. But the idea is still the same. Now we're looking at the Divine Abundance card deck, and I just picked two cards here. Divine Love. When you offer everything to the divine with detachment, you begin a love affair with spirit, which is what we talked about. That is what a twin flame religion is. And we have ease. The card ease. It's easy for me to receive. It's easy for me to receive. It is easy for me to receive. So, yeah, that was the text on the card. So, I guess it is easy to receive this ascended, universal, twin flame spirituality that you might call a religion and the fruits of it. Don't talk yourself out of it because you are, I don't know, like having an aversion of the word religion or something, Like that's not necessary. And this is the mission deck, the life purpose deck. And we're going to see, well, here we are. This one flipped over, so we're going to take it. What the mission is, the idea in the mission environment of this thing. So the card says protector of the environment, which is maybe for this card is more meant like the trees and nature and stuff. But when you take this like allegorically or like symbolically, you might say that we need to preserve the best of all the religions in a way that it is now reinterpreted by the twin flame reality that we live in. Something like that. And that's how we also can preserve like the traditional religions too. If they allow themselves to be transformed like into the universal twin flame religion. And this is the Isis deck. So I'm seeing this one. So I get it. And it's 2 cards. Fine. Let's have a look. Divine Sisterhood. Which at the card is like 2 persons looking at each other and one big sort of divine element above them, which in a sense also does look like twin flames. Being together with your spiritual brothers and sisters of the light, which is this universal twin flame religion for sure. Thank you, the Isis deck. And we have the woman of the stars, priestess of Sirius, which is like a very powerful spiritual female force. Like, I am present, and this is what it means to be spiritual and God and female at the same time, and all of that. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, let's go to the psychological cards. Ooh, well, there it is. It flew out. Psychological insight cards. I am prepared to express my love actively. Actively. Well, there you go. To express my love actively. And I guess that's what it takes. That's what it is. So, which for me, in the story that I just talked about, religion and how to ascend that with the twin flame reality, is also, bringing out the new twin flame religion out of the ashes of the still full of twin flame symbology being traditional religion. And I was, in the end, also prepared to actively go that route. And this is the spiritual insight cards, and this one is what I got. Lack of love disappears when you start to give love away. So when you become a portal for love to come in and pass on. That's maybe a better translation than give away. So, however, it's just say giveaway, but anyway, that's I guess what it means. So there's a flow of love that starts to come. And that's what this universal twin flame religion is really about. You start to receive in the unit of your union the love, the divine love, and start to pass it on. That's your mission. That's just what that is. And you do that actively too. That's the whole point. If you're going to stand on that place in consciousness, then you will be with your twin flame because that's law. And I've seen that all the time with my students. There's no mistaking that. It's just that you need to be guided to go there and you need guidance to stay there. And that's normal. That's beautiful. I do that with love. Let's have a card from the card deck, um, Manifest Union and Mission, that I made myself. And we have the card D1.3 to pull out essential innovation without frills. Right, and we see the Vesica Pisces symbol there, which is really a twin flame sacred geometry par excellence, I would say. Let's have a look in the booklet. D1.3. The source of value is the title of the description of the cards. Let's read the union. Meaning, all progress on the path towards union consciousness comes from the inner eye of perception that is rooted in truth. Right. So, guess what the universal twin flame religion is about? It's about progress on the path towards union consciousness for twin flames coming from the inner eye of perception that is rooted in truth. That's what you do in the universal twin flame religion, people. Things are not always as they seem. You may have already sorted that out from life experiences. The one that on paper looked like the ideal spouse in truth came out to be a liar and then unmasked himself as a false twin flame. The one that seemingly showed only socially wrong moves for many years came out to be the one and only true twin flame. This is but an example. We all know situations in which someone acts nice, but playing your friend came out to be for their own gain, and a real friendship that is not. Or we know someone that is neatly married and does everything how it societally is prescribed, only to live in truth of the soul as a person that uses a spouse to pay for her life necessities in a way that is legally sound and give her everything she desires, beside that one too. So, in other words, don't do that. Don't be that person. These are just examples. Not everything is what it seems, and you come to a truthful viewpoint by activating your truth roots below and your inner eye above. The activation can be done energetically on the backside of your body where the heart is. So, then on the backside. So, think your upper back and relax that area. This will bring forward the soft, eternal truth that will be disclosed for you. Living along this line of truth, along the lines of this truth makes it so that you create the biggest effect in the sustainability of the soul. You are the most happy and stimulate the people around you to become that too, even when it seemingly goes against their grain. You connect with the innovative power that connects to the soft yet firm energetic truth of the spiritual heart. This sometimes seemingly goes against social rules. You are able to follow this line of value until the true source of your value surfaces that you can endlessly share from with your true twin flame. And doesn't this exactly talk again about don't be don't take from this video that you're going to go back to your religion of your culture and do everything according to the rules and then think that your twin flame will show up besides you. No, you take the deeper meaning of that religion and recognize that that is similar to that to going to harmonious union consciousness state that brings you your twin flame, and that's what you're gonna live. Underneath all these world religions there's only one consciousness shift that you can make, and you're gonna make it. And that helps you get to twin flame union. End of story. And if you want to know what that one is, you might want to read A Course in Miracles. That's a book. That's like the underlying consciousness shift to union consciousness that is in very many religions, and it speaks with the language of Abrahamic religions, even of Christianity, because they need to pick some sort of language to be able to express these ideas. But you can also read that in general. Right. So it's true innovation to go the ascension path to be with your twin flame and follow that alongside your twin flame. That is also the only way to be with your twin flame. This is what you long for. That's why you're here. And that is what I offer. So there you go. And let's have a look what energetic point in the 9 point energy system that I created with Divine Mother for the goal to help you in all of this. Which one with which symbol helps you now? So this is the heart. And here is the Vesica Pisces again. There you go. This is the symbol of the card that we just read. Look. Vesica Pisces and Vesica Pisces. There you go. All right, very good. Awesome. So, I think we expressed the whole idea, and I bow for the primordial truth. I bow for the value of creation. I bow for the truth of beauty. I bow for everything true and of purity. Manifest creativity. Creator of us all, be with me when I open to connect with myself, when I uncover the creative source to retrieve her, the way you have placed it inside of me, and the way in which that same source moves and guides you as well. O divine Creator, make that I will be receptive to your voice and lead me to the rhythm of your breath, so that I will find the movement that leads me, find words for it, and can experience the being of them openly. Thank you for the abundance that is received in this moment. Thank you for the power that makes that I receive this moment. Om. Amen. Your next step. Don't forget to actually start the process and jump on the team. Actively come to our community, start doing the correct inner work, and ask the support you deserve through our services, so that we can start a relationship that will lead you to harmonious union and beyond. When you're not in the relationship, you're not on the team, and you can't expect the results I am speaking of. You can come to your strategy session to speak together on your options. creativeuniverse.earth/strategy session, or go to the link below and click it. The show notes. You can, however, support this ongoing live Twin Flame News as such. Make it possible as co-creator. Without your participation and financial gifts, I cannot do anything, because we need to have an energetic and verbal visual exchange for things to make sense and to know what I need to talk about for you. And also, we're on Earth, and it necessarily always works with money as a means to make sacred content actually physically flow. Have influence on the broadcast, and don't miss on the behind the scenes experience on patreon.com/PEJ at Creative Universe, or the link below. I have a very special Patreon deal for April. 3 VIP sessions of 2 hours, twin flame healing each. Not €2,391 normal price, but only €888 ex VAT, which is $1074, including 21% VAT. Be second tier Patreon member and ask me for the pay link. I'm Petra, in the consciousness state of Harmonious Twin Flame Union since March 2020. Worked with the new Christ Masters on Earth right now to roll this consciousness state out so everyone can enjoy the abundant life with their true twin flame soon enough after going in with me right here. Don't search any further. You found what you were looking for. Om. Amen.